Do you remember how you were as a kid, Mona? I feel like you were just
because you said you don't remember anything.
Because I feel like I've seen your
like,
mom.
You
She loves you. Like
yeah,
like your
I
mom
mean,
just like,
I definitely have like a good relationship with my mom. I think growing up with 3 brothers definitely like shaped me.
Yo, can you explain that? So you were the only
brothers?
girl with 3 or 4?
3 brothers.
Older?
So I have 2 older brothers, 1 younger brother.
How do you think that impacted you as a girl? Like
So I definitely think that I enjoyed it a lot more when I was younger than now.
Why younger?
Because I think like I was definitely very accepted with my brothers. Like we would all take part in the same activities. You know, not to bring like gender norms into it, but
Would they
like
treat you like one
they
of the
beat
guys?
you up?
yeah, I mean we would WWE all the time. Like we would watch
Yes!
that together. Like I don't know, we were always into all the same type of things, which I guess made me a little bit more relatable.
Yeah.
I wasn't like sheltered in the sense where it's like, oh, these are my hobbies and these are my activities and these are my brothers.
Right.
But I definitely think that my family is also very tough.
Yes.
And I'm not very tough. Like I'm a very like sensitive person. So I think that might be surprising because that it's like, okay, well you grew up with like 3 brothers and my parents are also like immigrants and they've like seen a lot of shit. And so that should make you like a really tough person.
Thick skin type of person, right?
And I definitely am, but at the same time, because I have the sensitive side and I feel like that wasn't really catered to that much. Like they weren't very aware of like how to deal with my sensitivity or like my emotional side.
And do you think your parents weren't able to deal with that as much because they were immigrants or because they had 3 boys and that they didn't need the sensitivity
Definitely
training?
like a combination of both.
Yeah.
Where are your parents from?
Palestine and Jordan.
Oh, so y'all seen some shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So their struggles, you know, compared to mine seem very like small and
But
insignificant.
Have you been able to break that sort of like dynamic with your parents in terms of being able to talk to them about very sensitive things, even though you think they...
Yeah, because I think even stuff like mental health, like I think that was kind of like mental health is a scam. Like that's not real. You know, like
Yeah.
for immigrant parents, that's not, you know, a subject of interest. But I think they can kind of see the real world effects that has on people.
Yeah.
And they've definitely seen that with me as opposed to my brother. So yeah, I definitely think that.
You're able to break through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mental health is interesting. Yeah.
I've not been that lucky. I once tried to convince my mom that she had OCD. She almost kicked me out the house. I was like,
wait, was that when she was trying to take out the Popeyes jam? From
Yeah.
Popeyes jam.
He left a piece of a jam from Popeyes.
yeah, like one of those wrappers that has like grape jelly in it. I left it sitting 2 inches away from where the rest of the sauce was, as opposed to
His
where the
mom
rest of the
smacked
sauce was. She just went, I was like, lady, you need to seek like somebody. I'm not saying this isn't bad. There are way worse, you know, mental disorders. But I'm just saying, you overreacting over some purple jam, and then she was just like, that's not a real thing.
I want to talk about mental health for a second because I told you guys I pulled my back in on Thanksgiving, right? So I've been to physical therapy. I just finished my last session of physical therapy yesterday, so I'm feeling a lot better. But a couple Sundays ago, I don't even think I told you, but I went to the emergency room because I was like, I really couldn't breathe that badly.
You didn't tell me that.
Like, yeah, because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but like I went there and it was just rough and I couldn't breathe that much. And they did all the physical tests on me. Everything was fine. So then the doctor comes up and I'm like, why the fuck can't I breathe, doc? Like what's going on? He was like, you have anxiety. I'm like, anxiety about what? Motherfucker, like, I'm happy to live life. I'm like, I'm let's go, let's get it. He's like, you have anxiety. I'm like, no, the fuck I don't. Like, what do you tell you? He's like, he's like, there is a level of subconscious things that are going on in your past that are causing your chest to get tighter and that are causing you to have these like breathing moments. And I'm like, what are they? He was like, I said subconscious, right? I was like, he was like, you need to go deep and go like try to figure that stuff, and you need to start meditating.
I loved this doctor.
Yo, I just like, did you listen to anything I said?
and I was just, and he said you have to meditate, and I really never fucked with meditating. I was like, bro, this shit, like sitting and listening to my chakras, like what the fuck.
Yeah.
But I actually tried it the other day with my mom and my sister because they kind of forced me to do it, and it was actually really nice. Like I spent 15 minutes of just like getting it all done, and then recently. So I haven't told you this as well. I've been slurring my words a little bit.
Oh, wait. Why didn't you? I've been making fun of you for that on the podcast for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, see, I don't
Why
know.
didn't you tell me
because
about
I don't know if
that?
it's a medical thing, but like when I was talking, like
Now I'm ableist.
you're not able to. No.
Because you didn't tell me that.
I was teaching these kids because I teach with them every day, and I was trying to say the word relevant, and I said reverent. And as soon as I did that, I was like, that's weird. And then it happened multiple more times. So I went to the doctor. Yeah, so now my neck was hurting this whole week because of my back. So I was like, maybe there's a pinched nerve in my neck that's affecting my words. So I went to the doctor this morning to get a routine checkup. He checked my neck. He was like, bro, you're fine. I was like, why am I slurring my words? He was like, you have anxiety. And he was like, because there's a flicker in my heart that I feel every time I slur the word. It's the exact same flicker. And he was like, that is the exact symptom of anxiety. And he's saying there's more research that's being developed that it's happening to people who have had COVID. Like post-COVID is having this like relationship.
You have post-COVID anxiety?
That's what I was like, but doc, I don't care about that. He was like, it's your subconscious. I was like, motherfucker.
First of all, shout out to you for like seeking help, because I think a lot of people shy away from that kind of stuff because again, it goes back to that concept where it's like, oh, mental health is not as important as physical health, or it's not something that you can necessarily diagnose. But it's actually crazy how many ways it can manifest within you. Right. I was telling you over the winter, I took a winter course, and this was my first winter course at Rutgers. And I was thinking, okay, 3 weeks, it must be an abridged version of whatever course I'm taking.
Yeah, I thought that course was good. I thought you were going to be chilling.
And so I ended up taking... it's like a core class for my major. It's called Scientific Technical Writing, and essentially you have to write a 15 to 20 page research paper.
Public service admins don't take that.
We'll get to that.
It is a business class actually. That's kind of why I've had a newfound respect for some business majors, because I'm like, you know what, they do.
Yeah,
stuff.
I've had to write some 30-page reports for business.
But I was going into this and I was thinking, okay, well, they're gonna spoon feed it to us. They're gonna give it to us in a way where it's like it's gonna be manageable,
Right.
And same concept of like college being so like protective, and it's So anyways, I've kind of always struggled with like anxiety. My first panic attack, I had it in high school. It was after I drank a large iced coffee from Dunkin'. Sorry for the mic.
You got the Charlie.
Not the Charlie.
I would not.
Damn, Charlie gave you anxiety? That's the name of this episode, bro. Charlie D'Amelio gave us anxiety.
And that's actually why I was like very interested when I was doing that paper to kind of see the effects on caffeine on anxiety and stress, because I know that there's a link. I didn't end up doing my paper on that.
Coffee, huh? Not the best for your anxiety, because she'd be drinking like 7 of them bitches a day.
No, it's crazy.
I drink like 2 cups a day.
I don't drink coffee at all.
Anyway, continue.
But so my first panic attack, it was like after I drank an entire thing of coffee. I must have had like an exam or something. I was in the locker room in gym class and I fainted. My entire body got like super hot, and I started like, the breathing. I couldn't regulate my breathing, and then I fainted. And then next thing I know, I was awake in the nurse's office, and my guidance counselor, who I was super close with at the time, she was like, you had a panic attack. And I felt so silly because I'm like, wow, I really fainted because I was stressed.
Right. That's what when he was like, you have anxiety because you have stress. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm stressed up, but not to the point where I would have trouble breathing. But he was like, no, it happens.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Let's compare schools real quick. You had a panic attack, your entire body flared up, you passed out, and you were sent to the nurse's office, right? Did you get an ice pack? Because no matter what, I remember there was one kid that threw up blood at our school. they gave him an ice pack and sent him back to class. I was like, this is...
No, actually, I was like...
no fucks, bro.
No, I was super tight with my nurse. Like, she was the type of nurse where if I wanted to skip class, like, she would...
just chill there.
Yeah, she would cover me.
So and that anxiety has been a problem ever since then for you? You've been able to diagnose it a little bit more?
Yeah, so, sorry, like, going back on over winter break, so I kind of realized that I have like really bad like academic induced anxiety. I don't know if that's like a medical thing.
Engineering major. I believe I prefaced this with all of you are miserable. Yeah,
but you know what? It's not even just like engineering courses. It's kind of just like it manifests where I feel like, okay, I'm not good enough. It's like I'm just so, it's just like you kind of come.
Even though you know you're good, you have that kind of imposter
I know
syndrome.
that I have, exactly. And it's like, I know I have enough to like take me at least like into the world. I don't know how far I'm going to get after there, but I know I can like get my foot in there, you know? But while I was taking this winter course, for whatever reason, I was just feeling so, like I had such a lack of confidence. And the way my anxiety manifested was like I literally had like chest pain, like.
And you're conscious of that because you've had it before, so you know it was anxiety.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think if you don't know that, it could be really scary. And I've heard of a lot of people going to the ER because they don't know.
Because I probably didn't need to go to the ER that day, but I felt so crazy that I had to go.
I think it comes out in a lot of different forms, and I think one of the things that the doctor was telling you was that you didn't come to the ER like going, all over the place, breathing really hard. Like when we think of anxiety, it's almost like we think of a certain person. Like we think of someone who's like anxious,
like a
basically.
shitty ass
Right.
motherfucker.
Someone who's like being jittery, and it's like maybe that could be a symptom, or that could be a person who's anxious, or it could just be so like what you were saying, like how you feel it in your heart, or how you're just getting shortness of breath, or like I had, our family had COVID, and I had COVID as well, but I wasn't hit as bad. But
she didn't have COVID. She wants to be part of the crowd.
I lost my sense of.
You definitely had anxiety about us having COVID, but you didn't have COVID.
Yes, so there was that, but then I also lost my sense of smell for like 2 weeks, and I regained it, but then afterwards, which a lot of people who had COVID, they developed these symptoms where they start smelling these weird smells.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was something with me that I struggled for months. So I gave up like chicken, like I would be smelling like rotten milk.
I would never.
I would smell like meat everywhere, like chicken, like just rotten chicken. That's what I would smell.
Oh, rotten chicken?
Yeah, and that smell was.
I was about to say, smelling chicken is
no.
like
It was,
when you walk, it's not that bad.
It was a really bad
okay,
smell.
that sounds terrible.
It depends what type of
Yeah.
chicken. Like, if it's a raw chicken, like nah. If it's
That's-
fried
I mean,
chicken,
That's how it
like,
would be. Yeah.
For some reason, I'm thinking fried chicken. Like if your entire
No.
life was just
No,
That-
that's
I can live
so
with that.
bad.
that anxiety thing
Yeah.
is interesting because like I've been starting to learn more about it. I'm like, yeah, I probably do have anxiety, and I don't want to say that lightly at all. Like,
Yeah.
like because that I don't want like when you say you're depressed, like it's a disservice to people
You
who
have
actually
certain triggers, like
Right.
that for me. Like that became a trigger whenever I would smell that smell, or even if I wasn't even thinking about it subconsciously. Like as I would be driving, like it was even similar to what you were saying. My heart would start doing something. I would have to like as I'm driving, like tell myself it's okay, calm down. Like I would have to tell give these mantras to myself, like it's okay.
those mantras help, bro. Because I've been feeling my
Yeah.
heart get fast sometimes, and I would have to be like, it's gonna be all right.
It's an out of body.
And low key, I used to think that's some
experience,
bitch ass shit. Be like, it's gonna be all right. But then I'm like, nah, bro. If I don't say that shit, my heart's gonna explode out my stomach.
It comes out in different ways, so it's so different for every person.
Yeah.
David, what are you anxious about? You've got something. I'm not saying medically you're anxious, but what are you like
Yeah.
kind of nervous about right now in life? Is it because you're a public service at major and like?
okay. We're just gonna do
I can
this
shit
now.
on you because I'm a business major. So
We're just gonna do
we're
this
allowed
now.
to shit on each other.
Okay, so clearly Mona has the most real major that exists.
No, it's
on
not
this
the
couch.
most. It is the like
The
major.
only real major.
only-
But like, okay, so I've been thinking about this for a little while, and I kind of want to talk about
It's
it.
like if you
because-
majored in government.
well, poli-sci majors.
What the fuck is that? You know how many people just read CNN and Fox and The Hill?
No, the people that do nuclear policy.
I'm a better political scientist than most
the
politicians.
people that do nuclear policy don't just watch CNN.
Okay, you do not need to be a poli-sci major to do that. You need to read
Right.
about the law.
Okay.
You don't need to learn about fucking 1776.
Why you feel engineering is like a super real major? It's because engineering is one of those very few majors where right out of college you don't have to do like a post degree to get an actual job. So
But
like,
nowadays that's changing.
it could
That is.
be.
Hella
It
people are getting
could-
their masters in
It could
engineering.
be, but most engineers out of college they get a job. For doctors, like you have to go to med school.
Yeah,
For
you always have to
lawyers, you have
build
to go to
shit.
law schools. For dentists, you have to go to dental.
There's a tangible correlation. You have to
Right.
build shit. We always got to build shit. So her shit matters. We always have to serve the public, but a lot of people can serve the public without having a public service degree. Same thing with business. Like, there's always gonna be businesses. You don't gotta learn about business.
Facts. I swear, most of the businesses that be on my block, nobody that runs
Yeah.
that business has a degree.
The only thing you need to know about business is revenue minus expenses equals profit. I mean, like, if you know that shit, you're good to
and then
go.
like
Like,
you gotta know techniques for reducing
customer acquisition cost and all that. No one knows
I
about
don't
that
even know
shit.
the terms. Low key, business is mad intuitive once you think about
Yeah,
it.
lifetime
But-
value of a customer, LTV. Like, yeah, it's how many times they buy from your shit. That's their lifetime value. Like,
Yeah, but I've started thinking about like school because I'm about to start like a master's program, and that's probably the thing that brings me the most anxiety. Actually, I just found out because I had to switch all my classes up. Initially, I was in some classes that I kind of want to talk about, but I had to switch them up because the lady, like my advisor, was like, if you don't switch up your classes and you don't take 2 master's courses this semester, you'll be dropped from the master's program. From like the dual program, and you'll have to do the entire master's, which will keep you in college for another year.
that's anxiety producing.
I immediately I was just like, literally, she started asking me what classes do you want. I was like, the first 2 on the list. Just give me those. I just can't be dropped from this program. And I didn't even think about it. I actually have to call her again to switch the classes because I looked at the list some more and I was like, actually, I probably could do this and this. But when she told me at the moment, I was just like, whatever you have, put me in. Just don't make me stay here another year and pay bills.
And the class you dropped to take that was
a class called Jesus. So
I think you're going to hell. It's very obvious.
It is weird to drop Jesus.
Yo,
for
if you go to Jesus on Judgment Day,
You really
right?
said, I just dropped Jesus. That's
I did.
the
I'm
title of this
sorry. I don't
podcast.
know.
He's gonna look at you and be like, "Fam, you really couldn't stay another year to learn about me? Like, you really for master's class? You know who's the real master, motherfucker?
Bro, look,
Jesus."
I'm